Hi, welcome to Embarcadero All Access in Action. I'm Jason Vokes. What we're going to look at in this session is the Embarcadero All Access client-server architecture. Firstly, we'll start looking at the client application and how that enables you to access and run any number of very powerful software tools. We'll see what editions and what versions you've got access to and how you can go about your day-to-day work through this interface. It's important to understand with All Access where all of this power comes from, and we'll take a look at the All Access server and how that hosts and works with the client applications to provision that power out to the users that need it. The next thing we'll do is show you how it works in conjunction with the Embarcadero License Center. So let's go and have a look.
What we're looking at here is my browser. My browser is looking at an All Access server that's running on this machine. And the first thing I want to do is actually get access to the client. So I'm going to download the client application so that I can see the interface and start working with some of the tools. If I open up the client here, having downloaded it from the server, and that's what many users will do first off when they first come to use All Access for the first time, I have the Embarcadero All Access client. What you're looking at here is a number of very powerful software tools that each can be used for a particular task or a job, or in many cases different users in different roles will spend the majority of their time in several of their major tools that they use. For example, if I'm an application developer, I might spend a lot of my time in Delphi or C++ Builder. If I'm building PHP applications, maybe with Delphi for PHP. If I'm a database administrator, I'll probably be using DB Artisan a lot of the time. Or if I'm modeling, then ER Studio. As part of the task that we need to do, there's going to be tools that you'll need along the way. So if I'm a DB Artisan, I find a performance issue with one of the databases that I'm looking at, then I probably want to be able to get my hands on DB Optimizer straight away, find out where the problem is, optimize the SQL, and prove that the performance has then been improved on the particular database. Same thing if I'm a Delphi developer and I'm developing against a particular application, a particular database within an application, I might want to find out what effect my application is having on a particular database. In that case, I can use Change Manager to see the difference between before and after a debug session and maybe revert back to the initial state should I want to then rerun certain tests. So within the client, this is really our view into our tooling world with All Access. So if I want to run up a particular application, I can just click on it. You can see here that certain tools are already installed. So things like I've got Delphi installed here as part of my RAD Studio 2010 suite. Other tools, and this is one of the major powerful advantages of All Access, we can just run on demand, and that's called Instant On. In effect, it takes quite a long time to install a very powerful piece of software, configure it, and then get it up and going. And within All Access, we can run these Instant On versions of the product straight away. So I'm going to choose ER Studio here. I don't have ER Studio installed, but I want to check out a particular database. So I'm going to click on the Instant On link as you see there. This starts up an ER Studio Data Architect instance, and I'm able to get working with this straight away. So I'm just going to click on New, look to maybe reverse engineer an existing database that I have, sign into that database, and then start looking at what databases are inside and I can start working with. So then I'm able to select which database, and many people would be familiar with Northwind within SQL Server. Choose which tables or objects I want to work with, infer keys and foreign keys within that, and then look to see the structure of the database that I've chosen. So here if we zoom in, you see it's reverse engineered a particular database. Maybe it would take me a long time to actually get familiar with the structure of this particular database, but here I can point and shoot and find out information that otherwise might take me an awful long time from dragging through and finding out things about the particular very powerful tools that I've got within my All Access. Another thing that we can do here, actually if I click on one of these little spanner or wrench icons here, you'll see that for each particular tool there's several different versions maybe installed. So if you had a particular application or a particular job or a particular database that required a particular tool to maintain or interact with that particular part, then I can select whichever version would be most appropriate for either developing new or maintaining existing installations. And I can choose to reselect between these and work accordingly. If I should want to, I could actually choose to install from the server a particular tool that I wanted to, so that I could then configure it however I might like to use that tool within my day-to-day tasks. Should I also want to, I can actually copy the installer locally and then install it on my machine later on if I was ever disconnected from the server. So this is a real quick look into the All Access client. There's a whole world of power behind this. So if I just close down the client a moment, and then we'll focus back on the All Access server that I started with a couple of minutes ago. This is the kind of greeting screen if we look at it from within my browser. But let's go and have a look under the hood, so to speak, and look at what products are available to me within the All Access server and what that actually means. So I've just clicked on that and it's waiting for a response from the server, and then it shows me the particular products that I have. Now what happens on the server is the server machine gets charged or downloads the different tools that you might want to use. So you can see here that I've got some tools where I've got all the versions cached, and there might be other tools that maybe I don't use as often as others that I haven't got all of the particular versions cached because I may or may not have a regular requirement for them. What we can do, maybe actually let's just pop in quickly and see what we've got within DB Artisan, for example. Here you can see I've got installed versions of 8.7. I've got an instant on or on-demand version available to me of 8.7, 8.70 in this case, and 8.71 installer and instant on versions. If I go back through to the admin area and sign in, here you can see the users administration area. As potentially we might be working with a large number of users, you don't have to enter all of the users by hand. We can create users using this interface here, or we can actually import files of users that we might want to use, and we can set their access level accordingly. I've already looked at the products, and if we actually look through to what we're able to do here with regards to downloading new products, we can see how we can configure that accordingly. Here I can set up whether I want automatically the server to load itself up with new versions, and there's notifications that are set and available to me up here. I can actually have it automatically download, notify me, as you can see at the mode I'm running in here, or actually turn off automatic updates. If we look at the licenses that are available, this is the heart of really what you've got and the power that you have with regards to the different users that can gain access to the All Access server and can currently use any number of tools that you've got available to you. If I sign into the Embarcadero License Center, here we can see the number of users, the licenses we've got available to us. Here you can see the different platforms, the different database platforms that I've got available to me. And also I can configure who can be connected to the server for how long, and maybe even how long they can take the products and work offline with them for. So it's a very powerful back-end setup with regards to the All Access server. And in this short presentation, we just wanted to show you some of the main features, such as the client, how you start and run different tools or different versions of tools. introduce you to the back-end server and show you some of the main configuration areas of that, and also a very quick introduction to the Embarcadero License Center. I hope this has been useful for you, and thanks very much for listening.